let's paint Joan of Arc Legendary Dragon today. Welcome back, collectors. So we have this really crazy project. I don't expect it to get done really soon, but I just want to get started on it. So for this part, I'll be opening the box, just checking out the minis, assembling the massive dragon that we see here, and filling up some of the gaps. So if you want to follow this project and this process, let us begin. So as you guys can see here, it's a massive box that needs to be opened. So let's open the box. Open the box. And yes, there is another box to be opened. So let's just put this aside first. One box. And what's inside? Oh my god. Viewers, this is what you guys have been waiting for. The massive dragon with a 50 cm wingspan. Just look at this, man. It's really insane. One more wing, and look at that dragon. Holy shit. So guys, after unboxing the dragon, just look at this. Look at this massive miniature. It's really huge. But wait, there's more. I'm not even finished talking about it. The wings are just as wide. So, first and foremost, we're gonna need a bit of plastic putty. We're gonna need some super glue, and I'm gonna also do some mold line removal, okay? So before I stick the model on, I'm just gonna use a knife to very roughly scrape away the mold line. As this is a plastic injection model, the mold lines are pretty obvious, but very thankfully, the mold lines are placed very strategically and in very easy to clear positions. So I'm just very roughly using the back of the blade. If you want to know how I'm doing this in more detail, please head on to our assembling model guide, and you can see me doing this on Games Workshop Plastic Miniature. Okay? So with all the mold lines removed, I'm just gonna glue on the wings. I'm just gonna put super glue in all the areas where the wings might be in contact, and I'm just holding it in position while the super glue dries. This super glue I'm using tends to dry very fast, and I like it. It tends to also have a very strong holding power, and I think it's good. Okay, so I just need to hold it in position and wait for it to cure. At this stage, sometimes it doesn't work, and you just gotta put a little more where there are more contact and let it cure. Okay, looks like it's cured already, and we can move on to the next stage. Just want to make sure the gaps are as small as possible. So look at the size of that miniature. It's not even a miniature anymore, it's crazy. Just look at it. So this dragon has a wingspan of 50 cm. How crazy is that? Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to fill gaps now. I'm going to use the Vallejo plastic putty, just squeeze out a little bit because the gaps are pretty huge. I'm just going to slather them on very thickly onto the gap. Just hopefully trying to get a film. As you can see, with more layers, you slowly start to fill up the gaps. But at this stage, you got to make sure you're careful. Do not let this dry yet, because once this is dry, you lose a lot of detail. So I'm just slapping on, just filling up the gaps first, and then I'm going to use a bit of water. After that to start to thin down and to remove the gaps, to remove the excess plastic putty, because this allows me to work very roughly and very quickly. So my technique is I'm just gonna slap on plastic putty and use water to clean it down. So this thin down plastic putty can also be sort of like used to fill some gaps, so you can use it to fill a lot smaller gaps on the side. Okay, so just gonna just dilute it and then spread it around. As you can see, the diluted plastic putty it's a lot less viscous, and you can use your fingers to just wipe it off. Okay, so fill. Then same old technique, just fill. Use water, wipe. So we've done most of the gap filling using Vallejo plastic putty, but then as you can see, there are still some really large gaps on the dragon. How are we going to solve that? We use this product called Magic Sculpt. So Magic Sculpt is sort of like the green stuff, but I find it working a bit better because it's kind of water soluble, so you can really smooth out the surfaces using water. I'm going to show you how to use it now. So first and foremost, you want to mix equal part hardener with equal part resin. You can mix more hardener if you want it to cure faster. This has a cure time of about 3 to 4 hours, but if you don't touch it for about 1 hour, it cures really hard. Okay, so what you do is a twisting technique. You just twist and press to make sure that the entire mixture is homogeneous before you start working. Okay, so now I've got this. I'm going to use the back of a brush. So as you can see, this is the gap that I'm going to be targeting. I'm going to roll it into a very thin sausage first. Right here, so you can see. Roll it into a very thin sausage, yes. Okay, so once this thin sausage is done, I'm going to use the back of the brush to slowly try to press it into the gap. Okay, press. Sometimes the back of the brush is a bit too blunt, so I'm going to use a sharper back of the brush. To prevent sticking, I also use a bit of water. Okay, so just press. So now with the sharper brush end, I'm just sort of like sculpting the excess away. I'm also using the sharp ends to dig away the excess. So if you don't have a tool like this, you can actually use a knife. So what you can do is you also can use the thin down version, just add a bit of water to the Magic Sculpt and just sort of like just smush it into the hard to reach areas. Okay, so that you can fill up as much gaps as possible. As you can see, there's a lot of excess on the side, so it's the same way as Vallejo plastic putty. Just use a bit of water, just dilute it down, and then just try to clean off as much as possible. On the Vallejo plastic putty side, I also see some gaps that need to be filled. So I'm going to use this very same technique. I'm going to use my fingers to just press. As you can see, this tool is very versatile. You can just, even with your fingers, just press it in so that it adheres to the gap. And then with a bit of water, you can smooth out the areas. However, with a sharp end of the brush, you can also start to sculpt the details back out. Okay, once the details are sculpted back out, you can use your fingers to just sort of like smooth out some of the joining areas also. Okay, very easy. So the Joan of Arc dragon is ready to be painted. It's such a massive miniature and really is heavy. Are you excited to see this painted? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so that you can see whenever we post a video. And if you really want to support the channel, please go on to our Patreon, become a patron today. Patrons get early access for our videos, and they get exclusive content, especially my golden demon piece. I hope to see you next video, and see you guys.